Hey, so I'm going to go through a few points of interest on this system that we created. Um, it's a pretty large system, but I'll kind of go just in particular for safety and some of the HR or certification tracking and training pieces. So this is just the basic safety information. You got safety meetings, we track meetings. We have a list for topics, so you don't have to refill in those every time. Um, you've got, here's a topic list. So you build these uh, pre-build, and then you can schedule a meeting. You add the topic, location, who the customer is, date, time. When you save it, it'll bring you to another screen, and you can add employees. You can add a presenter. You can add documents associated. So let's say you had a PowerPoint presentation and you were presenting on, you could save that in and tie it all into this meeting. So that records per person, who was in the meeting. You can see, I'll show you one of these meetings that's already been done. Um, here's where you would add presenter and then attendees, who it was for, any documents associated with. Um, so that's safety meetings. Incidents would be just what it is. We record number, date, type, location, and what customer it was for. That all reports in and is reportable, so you can narrow down any of these fields. Let's just say you were looking for something in ICY, and it would sort that list based on those. We pull next random drug test, so it will pull the number of employees you want to actually test, how many days since they last were selected. So it just grabs all the employees in the database and pulls at random. We do what is called BBSMs. So the company that we built this for is a way to track their observations in the field. So we have this available to print an empty form, you can see there, or start a new form on a tablet or even on your phone. And then so you have somebody doing the observation, what they're observing, where it was, what customer. And then there's a list of questions that they've already predetermined. So the question mark tells you what the question is. Is the employee wearing appropriate eye and face protection to protect them during the work task? Is this protective? Is it good condition? Blah blah blah. So they all have questions, but just the basic information is eye and face protection. Is it safe? Is it not available in this case? Or if is it at risk? Then what? Why was it at risk? What was the behavior? What were they doing? What the solution was? Any additional comments? So you can see how that changes. So it's a dynamic form. It changes as they update it. So anyway, they report, scroll through and report next, get all the way through this tab, and then they submit it. One of the other companies that we have done this same kind of thing for took it a little bit further than just these features here, and I'm going to put a picture, a screenshot of the screen in there. I just can't pull up their system right now because it's live. But you'll see that right here, and you can see the ergonomics tab that they added to look for like body lifting and different procedures like that. So all this reports, the BBSM reports into this safe and at risk report. So based on the responses, it totals up all the responses and gives a real-time graph view of safety information. So looking at body use and position, the different totals. You can also run these, for certain date periods. So let's just say you were worried about this week. So you want to do start date, end date. There might not be any information in here because we didn't put anything in, but it would tell you based on that. But if you clear it, it goes back to the beginning and shows all graphical data in those categories. Safety stats are just the important numbers based on input. So they actually hand key these in every day, and then it gives a running time of exposure hours. So that kind of wraps up the safety part of it. But so under recruiting, we when they post a job and put a person's information in concerning all their certifications, we track in every employee record every certification and a date time so they know when it renews and when it expires. We're able to, by doing that, come into this section and have training based on the certification. So if somebody knows that they have an training coming up, they're not in compliance, they know that they have to go to boating safety, driving safety, whatever the training is, they can come and check it in their own tab here. They also get a notification their training is about to go out. They can go to testing and actually go to take the test. So when they click that, it would bring them to the testing page. It would give them all available tests that they have to sit for or to sit down for. And then also anything that they passed recently, they would have here. So in those tests, they would show whatever the safety coordinator, whoever's handling manipulating that, some HR person, some depends. They would build the test based on the information that they need to test. So whether it's OSHA information or site-specific information, all following along, with the safety plan and that kind of stuff. So just saves from having to go take somebody out of the field and travel to a testing facility. They can just knock it out, at home, or they can knock it out at the office, at a testing center, located at the building or whatever. But it saves a lot of time and a lot of money from having to outsource that. So I think that kind of wraps up those two areas as far as safety and cert tracking. I can go into a lot more detail in a live demo just because I know kind of what direction to head. But if you want to see some more, definitely get back in touch with me and we can set something up. Appreciate it. Thanks.